What's going on, guys? Rock Lee AC here, giving you guys a deck profile on Blue Frieza. So there's a lot of MPs going around, and not too many people did any profiles on Frieza, so I kind of wanted to touch bases on this one. It's not the physical beats one, it's a little bit more defensive, but I like this build because you could win through all three ways, basically. Quickest way could be through MPPV or through survival, but I also run Dragon Balls in here as well, so it has a lot of versatility in this deck, which I really like. Reason why I run Frieza with blue is because obviously they complement well with each other. When you block, Frieza gains anger on his level 1 and 3, and the mastery, of course, the effect goes off too if you discard, for alternative blocks. It's a very controlling deck anyways too. Level 2 is great because you could discard a card from your hand to perform the last attack your opponent used, and does an extra 2 stages. Sometimes you'll draw into some dead cards, setups, drills, whatnot, and you could use that Frieza's power to good use. You're just defending anyways, so you're not really looking to aggressively attack. Level 3, you could use this to aggressively attack just because, his effect, your attacks deal plus 3 stages of damage, so you could kind of stage lock them with some of the physical cards that you have. And you could also use your level 1, which is block and gain angers. And then level 4, it's a power card just like level 2. You could use level 2, by the way, effects, and you could destroy the top 4 cards of your opponent's life deck. Search your deck for Frieza named cards and put them in play. I don't really run any Frieza named cards, which I'll explain later. But this, of course, is level 1. So yeah, let's just jump right ahead to the deck, and let me tell you why I played certain cards and whatnot. So, welcome, everybody to my channel, and thanks for watching. I realized with Frieza there's not too many allies that really synergize with him, so I figured that out of all the allies, I feel like Zarbon was probably the closest one. I like Zarbon a lot just because it fits well with raising an anger theme. After taking damage from physical attack, you may raise the player's anger level 1. Redirect your attack to Zarbon. Raise your anger is just another way to pressure your opponent. So if you have, if you're on level 4, if you have 4 anger and you just need that extra push, your opponent might double think about, leveling you up or whatever. And it works really good with Dragon Ball 6. Dragon Ball 6 is more of a defensive way. Your opponent's attacks deal minus 2 stages of damage, so for what it's worth, Zarbon's there for that extra anger gain. Dragon Balls, I run all 7. All of them serve their own purpose, of course, some better than the others, but I like the versatility of having options in this deck. Of course, level 2, lower, personality levels if you have, if you're going against another deck that's, MPPV also. Dragon Ball 4, of course, against like orange decks, or decks that run a lot of setups. Dragon Ball 5, probably the most versatile one. I like this ball a lot. Dragon Ball 6 for obvious reasons also, and then 7 too as well, just to keep the pressure up so they don't cycle things in their discard pile. Oh, sorry, so you could recycle things in your discard pile. Setups. Let's go with 3 Blue Blockade. I run, again, a more defensive build, and if you have this out on your level 1, you're just going to gain anger quickly, and your opponent's going to think twice about attacking because you're going to have so many blocks anyways. And you need Blue Blockade just in case you need some certain combos to go off, which I'll also explain in a bit too, but it's also good for extra protection just because sometimes you'll be discarding cards out of your hand and you'll need some way to block and not take so much damage. 2 Visiting the Past, I think that's obvious. Don't need to explain too much. You gain an extra card in your hand during the defense. 1 Dragon Radar and 1 Blue Trick, since I am running Dragon Ball Victory as well. Dragon Radar searches for whatever you have during the situation, and Blue Trick of Steel is good against Namekian, and it also has Endurance too, just in case. Drills. Forgive me for my proxies, I'm just waiting for the others in the mail, but this card is probably my favorite card that came out of set 2 in terms of blue. This card is extremely powerful and it synergizes well with other cards in the deck. So let's take a quick look at it. Villains only. This card is not discarded when advancing a level, which is very important because Frieza you could level up really quick. Continuous effect, whenever you stop an attack you may raise a player's anger level 1. This card works in a variety of ways, and I like any card that raises a player's anger, your ability to choose, because there's decks out there that want to sit on a certain level and they're not looking to gain anger, i.e. Promo Krillin, Raditz level 1, sometimes Piccolo level 2, so they're not really looking to gain too much anger, so you want to help them gain anger, get them out of that personality level so that they could focus, you know, trying to waste all their resources gaining back to that level. So I like this card a lot. It's a quicker way for you to gain anger. Say you're on level 1 Frieza, you block an attack with a blue mastery, that's 2, and then you obviously trigger this one too as well, that's 3 anger in one block, which is crazy. And then the bottom effect, your first copied attack each combat cannot be stopped. There's cards in here that copies attacks, and obviously triggers that, and it's just incredibly strong. It could win games, it clutches games, just because, I mean, your opponent doesn't have that many options to prevent that. So we'll go back to this, but again, very, very powerful card from the new set. 2 blue positioning drills, because you're going to want to recycle certain cards in your deck that you could use, obviously. Blue Betrayal is one of the most common ones that you see. Recycling Blue Betrayal back to the top of the deck is crazy important, and if you want to recycle certain other cards. Events, I ran 3 stare downs. Obviously, if you want to be aggressive, I mean, enter with stare down, or just get rid of certain cards in the deck that could be troubling. So it's just, I think, a very good card to have. Omni block, of course, 2 endurance, blocks physical or energy. And if you're level 3 or higher, you get to discard it instead of banishing it, and more often than not, you might be higher than level 3. Next, one of the other new cards, Blue Fear. I like this card a lot. If I could find a 3rd slot for it, I would try my best. You know, if you guys are playtesting with this one or this version, I try to recommend a 3rd one. So yeah, real quick, let's look at the card effect. If this card is discarded for your hand through a card effect, raise your anger 2 levels, banish after use. This is good because there's certain cards like level 2, level 4 Frieza that discards a card to throw the attack back. That's great. You gain 2 anger in the process. Or sometimes there's some black cards that are discarded and just for whatever reason, and you can gain those angers really quickly. So that's really good. Power. Use a Critical Damge Effect. This card is extremely strong because blue doesn't really have a critical damage or an auto critical damage card from set 1 or set 2. Reason why I want to play this is mainly for Wall Breaker. And only reason why I run 2 is because not everybody's going to run Wall Breaker, and I'm not sure exactly, or nobody knows exactly how Wall Breaker is going to be in the meta at the moment. So I mean, set 2 was just released, you know, for a couple weeks. We don't know exactly how prevalent Wall Breaker is, and there needs to be ways around it, of course. So Blue Fear is probably one of the few ways without having to damage, you know, 5 life cards and whatnot, or whatever, or without a card effect. So Blue Fear is in there just for that reason. It's great too because, I mean, you could kill allies, of course. You could steal Dragon Balls. But yeah, I mainly use it for the Wall Breaker purpose. And second effect, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do draw a card, this card is great because, again, there could be dead. You could draw into dead cards. It happens all the time. You can't use a Dragon Ball. You can't use setups, drills, whatever, allies. So might as well discard it. Draw an extra block. Draw an extra attack. So that you could be aggressive. So that's why I like this card. That's why I would potentially run up to 3, but 2 for now, just because, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how the build will be against other decks. And of course, Times Warriors tool fits well with the theme of blocking. Alright, let's go to energy attacks. I ran 3 blue hand blasts. This is one of the cards from the new set. I love this card a lot just because, well, the immediate effect, raise your anger 2 levels. It's similar to Enrage Blast, but I like this card a lot for 2 reasons. Attack cost is 3 stages, Enrage Blast is 2. Damage 5 life cards, Enrage Blast is 4. But it also has a hit effect. You could raise or lower your opponent's anger 2 levels. Again, it helps the anger manipulation, the anger control in this deck, where you can get, you know, their Krillin out of level 1, or get their Raditz out of level 1, or Piccolo or whatnot, or whatever personality. So it really helps with that purpose. And it's also a styled card. Unlike Enrage Blast, I can't recycle it with like blue positioning drills, so the more blue the better, and it just does that for that purpose. Next, 3 blue neck beam. As if I'm not afraid of personalities staying at their level. Blue neck beam is another reason why, because I mean, I feel like a lot of people are paying attention to a certain personality just to help win their games. I mean, it does, like, you know, other cards in their deck of course help, but personalities give a huge boost. And if you're just like niching on the personality, chipping away, it's really helpful. So blue neck beam, energy attack. If you hit, you could raise or lower somebody's MP 1 personality level. Great. Very good. And there's 1 endurance, just in case. I mean, you need as much endurance just in case they aggressively attack you. And of course, the staple in any type of blue, I don't see why anybody would not run this. Blue Terror, you search for anything that's non-Dragon Ball. Anything that could help you at that moment. Now, blocks for energy, blue avoidance. This is a card that goes well with overpowering drill. Whoops, sorry. A little too excited there. This card goes well with overpowering drill. Stops an energy attack. You may discard a card from your hand to perform a copy of that attack for your next action. And this obviously says the first copied attack each combat cannot be stopped. This card is huge, so there's very few cards out there that could really stop this combination, and you kind of want to save this for one of your opponent's big attacks, Kamehamehas or whatever have you that you could think of at the moment. So you hit this blue avoidance at the right time, discard a card from your hand. Sure, you're minusing 1 from your hand, but most likely they might not be able to stop this just because of overpowering drill and you being able to copy it. Again, just in case you need protection, since you are minusing 1 from your hand, Blue Blockade, if you have this set up, you're good to go, just in case, because you're losing stuff out of your hand, so you need ways to kind of counter, just in case your opponent might want to hit you back with something. But Blue Avoidance, very good card to have. And then I ran 2 Blue Mirror Escapes, mainly because I don't run a buttload of energy combats, but this is great because it has 3 endurance. Huge. Stops energy attack. Choose 2 energy cards from your discard pile. Place them on top of your deck. Recycle, your blue avoidance. Recycle your blue hand blast. What have you. Physical attacks. Let's go with blue lunge. Any deck that runs multiple drills, multiple setups, you need to run this card because this tutors out essentially everything. I mean, this makes everything run smooth. Especially in a game that you're only drawing 3 at a time. I mean, you're going to need ways to search out for your other cards to make everything smooth. And you want to be able to hit your overpowering drill as soon as possible so you can gain those angers and you could maybe block attacks with, your blocks. 2 endurance, which is also really good. Physical attack damage plus 5 stages. Powerful. And you could search the top 5 for setup or drill, put them in play. Next 3 I think is also a staple. 3 blue betrayals. Banish an opponent's setup, drill, or ally. This is, no question. Next 3 physicals. Sorry, one more. I'm waiting for another blue trap strike. But 3 blue trap strikes. I like this card a lot just because it really pushes a little bit more pressure to your opponent, especially if you're level 2 or 3, trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and you're attacking with those extra stages. It does a lot. So, and you run Dragon Ball, so you could use the maximized damage this could do, or effects that it could do. So, I mean, if you control Dragon Ball, this attack stays for an extra turn. Raise or lower your player's anger level 1 level. Again, you're going to be raising your anger 2 or lowering your opponent's 2 or what have you, or 1 and 1. So this card is a little bit more on the aggro side, but I like it just because of all those extra effects. I ran 2 blue head knocks, 2 endurance, physical attack. Again, you might be going against decks that are really aggressive, Red Tien, some Saiyans out there, Ginyu. You might want to lower their anger so that they're not able to advance higher than you, and you could control that really easily with Blue Head Knock. It's an automatic lower your anger. 3 is too cloggy just because, I mean, again, there's powerful decks out there that don't need to advance levels. Krillin and Raditz, which I'm going to be referencing for some time because, I mean, that's what everybody's talking about. And then last 2 physical attacks is 2 devastating blows. Utility card, that's super powerful. I mean, I could run 3, just trying to find room. Switch out here and there. Raise your anger 1, lower your opponent's anger 2. Choose 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile and banish them. That's the most important part, so that you won't be screwed up later on. Physical blocks, I ran 3 blue swift block. This is the same reason why I run 3 blue avoidance, because it stops a physical attack and you can discard a card to copy that attack. And again, with overpowering drill, that combination is extremely powerful. And last 3 blocks, I ran 6 physical blocks just because, I mean, there's a lot of physical cards from this set that people are going to be using. Physical Nappa, physical Raditz, so a lot of people running physicals. I love this card. It stops a physical attack, sure. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and your opponent chooses one of them, it goes to your hand. So again, there are those times when you have those dead cards. There's those times when you could draw into a useful card, It just replaces the card in your hand. It replaces blue leverage, so you're gonna gain an extra attack, gain an extra block, what have you. And if you're level 3, or if your personality is level 3 or higher, which once in a while you will be in games, you get to choose a card instead. So it's really good. Plus, you know, those other two cards go back to the top of your deck. So if you don't like those, you could purposely take the hit, take the damage if somebody's going to give you like 3-4 life cards, and take the chance of, you know, losing those extra cards, but knowing that you have a better chance of drawing something better in your deck. So it has multiple uses. I like it a lot, and especially in a deck that levels up your personality, it's great to have this, because you could potentially search and choose a card yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on Blue Frieza. Very defensive. Just from testing it out against other decks, it's really easy to get to level 2 and 3. You're mostly going to stay like high level 2 and 3 throughout the game, but in case your opponent has you on lockdown, say wall breakers, and you're not able to go out of it, there's other options like Dragon Ball Victory and survival. It's really great with survival. That's probably the #1 key thing here, is through survival victory. And that's what I suggest, but also you could definitely win through MPPV. It's not that difficult with all the cards that could raise your anger. Just real quick, there's certain cards that I kind of left out for different reasons. As you notice, I don't run any Frieza name cards, I don't run any Novas, I don't run any Frieza's Captured Strike. I just didn't think that this is such a dependent card. Like it does a lot of damage, sure, potentially up to 20 cards, but all that time you could gotta take it to set up and everything. It's just you could block and gain anger, you could block and gain extra things. Plus, Nova doesn't really have a secondary effect; it's just there. Same thing with Frieza's Capture Strike. I mean, this nobody uses for its attack. Obviously, you discard it and you fuel your discard pile for Nova later in the game. But it's very easy to block. It's very open for lots of counters, so that's why I don't run it. Maybe in a more aggressive build, you could work your way around it, but still, I don't feel like, you know, there's a lot of better cards out there that I think would fill this slot, and maybe Frieza will get a better attack later in the game. Another card that I did like was Blue Backbreak. It's more on the aggressive side. You could raise your anger with level 1. You could shuffle your ally back into your owner's life deck. I just feel like at the moment maybe people aren't really going to run too much allies, just because they might be scared because of all the ally hate that they're going to abandon, you know, running like 3-4 allies like Ginyu did. So at the moment I think, you know, it's okay. Later on, if you know, Gohan ally becomes a huge thing, then I might consider using Blue Backbreak. But you already have Blue Betrayal, and you already have your critical hits if you decide to do extras. So, but yeah, and then real quick, some of the two decks that I think I had trouble with was, again, Black Krillin. It's very consistent, very powerful. I don't have the San Diego promo, but this would obviously be level 1 promo. You're obviously getting hit pretty hard with energy attacks, all your Destructo Disc and everything. So Black Krillin, of course, they have cards. If you're hit with like a scouting maneuver or whatever, and they get rid of your overpowering drill, it's really hard to kind of mesh everything together. I mean, it's not impossible. You know, in the case that they do banish your overpowering drill, you have other ways to win, which is good. So that's kind of the purpose. But when you're going against Krillin, you're gonna want to raise their anger, and you have many cards in your deck that could raise the anger for them, and they're just gonna be wasting resources to kind of get them out. Another scary deck against this is Nail level 1 and Nail level 2. Basically, when you block their attack, level 1, I discard the top, or destroy the top card of my deck. Level 2, whenever I stop an attack, destroy 2 cards from my deck. So that's really good, because you're basically, you want to block attacks, you want to gain anger, but at the same time you're losing cards out of your deck. One way to counter this is to use Blue Positioning Drill. So you block Nail's attack, sure, you're going to get, you know, top card destroyed, but you're also going to be putting a style card back, so it kind of balances out a little bit. And same thing with Nail level 2. You want them to stay at level 1, because, you know, you have the opportunity to block them with Blue Positioning Drill. Raditz also, in a way, too. Raditz level 1 is probably the best one, aside from level 3. Just because they're gonna net you, you know, life cards and everything, and they're gonna gain card advantage, but they're also gonna be gaining anger, so you want to help them gain anger too as well, just to kind of push them out. And level 2 obviously sucks at the moment, unless there's a really good like deck that complements well with you know, the drills and everything. And just want to say Nappa just for purposes, whatever. Level 1 Nappa is great. Some people are going to be staying at level 1 Nappa just because, I mean, 3 stages, destroy your opponent's allies. Not that troubling to me, just because, I mean, you're going to be blocking a lot of physicals. That's why I had a lot of physical blocks in my deck. And also, of course, the masteries, blue blockades. So I don't have... You shouldn't be afraid too much of Nappa level 1. Nappa physical beats, though, however, maybe against like a blue deck, you might be inclined to change your strategy a little bit more. Level 2, you want to get him up to level 2, I mean, if possible, because his level 2 is not that great either. Those are just a couple of the decks from the new set that kind of you could strategize and build your way around and everything. Here's my Trunks character. But yeah, that's my deck. Hope you guys like it. I'm open for constructive criticism. I literally just played the game about a couple months ago. I'm really into it. We have our locals here out in Lake County, Illinois, in Extreme Games. So if you guys are around the area, we have our tournaments Sundays at 3 o'clock. And we have a pretty good, I'd say probably around 12 players that come by. And that's a good standard amount. But always open for more. I'm always looking for constructive criticism. Sure, if you want to troll, that's totally fine. But, you know, I don't take comments to heart because most people are trolling anyways. But anything that could help the deck, again, I haven't been around too long, and I'm kind of new to the scene, so just wanted to get some content up, just things circulating. If you guys know me already, I'm a former Naruto player, so I've stopped Naruto for a while, and I kind of translated to DBZ, and I like it a lot. Shoutouts to Scott Dashi, Hi Dashi, that's his username. Again, former Naruto player, kind of showed me, you know, suggested DBZ to me. Mr. Waffles and all the other DBZ top tiers and all the other DBZ content on YouTube. We need to get more up there so more people could learn how to play and whatnot. So yeah, this is a long video. For you guys who already know, I already talk a lot, so I tried not to make a long video, but hey, whatever, that's me. I make long videos. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, like my video, and stay tuned for more because I will be doing more deck profiles. I'll be doing matches and just some DBZ content now that I'm out of Naruto. So thank you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and peace. See y'all later.